Hello, I am Shatiria Starnes, your financial coach, and I'm so excited to be before you today. Just want to tell you a little bit about my organization, the Starnes Group. I help individuals and small business owners create budgets, eliminate debt, perfect their personal credit scores, and also build business credit scores. My goal is to help my clients build generational wealth. And the way that we go about doing that is that we actually focus on behaviors. Here's the deal, guys. If we do not address root cause issues to the financial choices that we make, we will continue to make those choices over and over again. So, my goal, again, is to help individuals build generational wealth. And today we're going to focus on how to build business credit. So, let's jump right in. In a nutshell, business credit is just the opportunity for your business to qualify for financing. Here's the deal. Creditors and other organizations, they're going to evaluate your company's credit scores to determine whether or not they're going to extend you a line of credit or close the business deal. So that's why it's vital that you take these steps beforehand before you actually start applying for business credit. Another thing is that business credit also helps you protect your personal credit. You can also get better repayment terms, and oftentimes it's easier to obtain financing for your business. Who doesn't like that? We're going to jump right into the meat. These are the preliminary steps that are needed in order for you to start applying for business credit. Again, I do not encourage you to apply for business credit if you have not did these preliminary steps. So let's jump right in. And some of you may already have covered these things, but just in case, because I can't make assumptions. These are some steps. Select your business name. Make sure that it's legally available. I have a buddy right now, and she's in a situation where she has chosen a business name, and guess what? Another organization has the same name. She may or may not have did her due diligence, but there's an issue called trademarking. I'm not going to delve a little bit into that, but I will say this. Do your due diligence and make sure that the name is legally available, because if not, it can cost you a ton of money on the back end, okay? Again, you want to avoid legal challenges. Choose a business address. If you do not have a brick and mortar organization, you really need to get a virtual office or a Regis office. Regis is just one of that many that you can use, but you need a virtual office. You cannot use a P.O. box, and it's not recommended for home-based businesses that you use your home address. Again, do your due diligence. There are several that organizations that you can use, and the rates range anywhere from $20 to maybe $100 or more a month. Again, you're just using that address. Secure a business phone number. It could be one of these services that you can use, an 800 number, or you can just get a second line on your plan and totally dedicate it to your business. These things may not seem important, but again, these are the things that the vendors are going to look at before they decide to extend you a line of credit, or what I call a trade line. You'll hear me using those synonymously. Trade line and line of credit is the exact same thing. Something else I want to bring to your attention before I move through the slide deck is that this webinar will be broken into two sessions. The first part will go over the preliminary steps that you will need before you start applying. And then the second webinar will go into the meat about the steps that you actually need to take after you have did all of these preliminary steps. So let's move right along. Register your business. This is the next step. It's very important that you register your business with the state or whatever agencies that need to be that you need to register it with. So if you have an LLC or one of the S corp or C corp corporation, typically that's already done for you. But if not, as a sole proprietorship, you have to register with the state and you have to get a business license. Okay. Choose a registered agent. What do I mean by that? All legal entities are required to have one. All it is that it's a person or agency that can actually accept legal notices on your behalf. Again, going back to the previous slide, if you have a home-based office and if you choose like a virtual office site or a Regis office, they will have a registered agent as part of that. So that will be covered. Choose a business entity. In this webinar, we're not going to talk about the different types of entities. I would suggest that you find out which one works best for you and what you're trying to accomplish. You have a lot of people that are jumping on the bandwagon and actually going out and getting LLCs, but they don't understand all of the parameters. There are excise taxes that have to be paid. There are all types of taxes that have to be paid annually. So what happened in a lot of situations is that we're on Facebook, we're reading a lot of different things or different types of social media, and everybody's like, go get an LLC, go get an LLC. And we do not have an understanding of it. And then when we're in situations where it's time to pay all these taxes and fees, people may or may not have the money for it. And they put themselves in a position where if there are grant opportunities and those things have not been resolved, guess what? You miss out on that opportunity. Again, opportunities present itself all the time. Are you prepared? That's the question. If you have a business, check with the state to make sure that you are in good standing. Again, grant opportunities and things like that. If you have fees that have not been paid or outstanding, you need to resolve these things, not just only for if you're applying for different types of funding, but if you're trying to get business credit. This is a way that your application can be denied because they check these things, believe it or not. They do. Request an employee ID number. Here's the deal. This link in this slide deck, you can double click and it will take you directly to the IRS website. This is important because if you go online and if an organization or a link is trying to get you to pay for your EIN, is not legitimate. Again, your employee identification number is your business's social security number. That number, in turn, when you're applying for business credit, that's how vendors will be able to go in and check and track and update information about how you're paying on your particular line of credit. And in turn, that's how you will be able to build a business credit score. So it's very important of paying things on time once you do get approved. Get any licenses and permits. This is important. A buddy and I started a food truck, and it was a vegan food truck, actually vegetarian. So we did vegan and vegetarian food. We had to get all these different types of licenses for the food truck. Again, if we would have applied for business credit and those measures had not been in place or we had not taken those steps, we would have been denied. So it could be a sales tax license, a health permit. You definitely need a business license. These other things that I'm going to talk about, SCORE, Small Business Development Center, and PTAC, these are just resources. I always like to throw in goodies for my clients, different types of resources. What I love about SCORE is this. SCORE will provide mentorship and free services to you as a small business owner. So as an example, if you are in a situation where you have a small business, whether it's real estate or if you have a lawn care business, SCORE will actually connect you to someone, a mentor that is possibly retired and did really well in that industry that can help you with services or questions that you may have about how to build your business. The Small Business Development Center, they are another valuable resource. And they will also help you with all types of resources as it relates to small business. I wish I had knew about all these resources when I first started out several years ago. Trust me, it would have made things a lot smoother. Not necessarily easy, but a lot smoother because I would have had all these things in my arsenal. Something else I want to mention to you is PTAC, Procurement Technical Assistance Center. I love PTAC because PTAC can actually help you become certified to start getting contracts with the government. My sister works for the military and we have a military family. They buy everything. You name it, they buy it. So if you have a business and whatever service or product that you are selling can benefit the government, you can get certified. And guess what? They can actually purchase items directly from you, which will be a win-win because they're benefiting and so are you. Now, I have Debbie Barber's contact information. She is the PTAC representative for this region, Middle Tennessee. Many of you are probably not from Middle Tennessee, but that's okay. PTAC is all over the country. And all you would have to do is just Google your PTAC representative for your area and reach out to them. And they will walk you through these steps of how to get the certifications with the government. And the services are free. Yes, all of these things. PTAC, Small Business Development Center, and SCORE. They're all over the country. Open a business bank account. So if you notice, there's an order to these things. You have to have your EIN, you have to have your business license before you can open a business bank account. Remember I talked earlier about commingling funds. This is a great opportunity for you to be able to keep your personal finances separate from your business finances because remember, you do not want to be paying things, personal things like going to Wendy's or different things like that and paying for it out of your business account, especially if it's some personal things. There's nothing wrong with taking clients out to lunch, but be mindful of the things that you're doing on the business side, especially, like I said, if you're ever audited, it can present problems. Get a DUNS number. A DUNS number, it identifies your business with Dun& Bradstreet, which is one of the major uh, recording houses for business credit. Dun & Bradstreet, they are a collection house of all type of data. They've been in existence almost 200 years. So it's the DUNS number is free. But what I like about the DUNS number, if you decide to, it allows you to be able to conduct business with the government. Remember, I just talked about PTAC. DUNS number is free. This is the link. Go ahead and get it. Again, just to have it. You never know because opportunities always presents itself. These things are critical. Set up your books. I remember when I first started out my business, first of all, I didn't even have any type of accounting system in place. I had no clue what was coming in and going out, and it was just a mess. Then I went to an Excel spreadsheet and was recording information. Do you know how time consuming and difficult that was? It was very overwhelming. So I actually started using QuickBooks, and I'm telling you, it is a lifesaver. QuickBooks is an accounting system. And what I do is that I have it connected directly to my business account. So any purchases or anything that's made out of my account, it feeds directly through QuickBooks. And if I need any type of reports, profit and loss statements, when I was applying for different types of grant funding, I could generate those things immediately because it was already set up. Here's the deal. What I'm trying to do is position you that when you do hit that growth spurt or you're scaling and everything, if you have these foundational things in place, it's going to make things so much easier. And I wish I would have known this years ago. So that's just some free information. You can actually take classes at Pathway or the Small Business Development Center. Again, they are across the country. Pathway Women's Business Center is here locally. A lot of these classes are free and they will show you how to set up your business books if you're not able to hire a bookkeeper or an accountant. And let's face it, everyone, especially if they're starting out businesses, they may not necessarily be able to start out hiring a bookkeeper or an accountant, but you can use QuickBooks or one of these types of sources. Create a website. You're like, why is that important? You don't need a website. It creates another level of trust. It's good for marketing. And there's something about, I know when someone is marketing something and I'm interested in it, the first thing that I do is I go to their website. Same thing with the vendors that's trying to extend you a line of credit. They're going to go and check to see if you have a website. It establishes like a legitimacy to your business. If you are having or struggling with funds and may not have a lot of funds, you can you can build yourself with Wix or GoDaddy, or you can go on Fiverr. They have freelancers that are offering these services and they can do it for you. Again, it's really good for marketing and first impressions. Register with online services. This is something that is easy to skip over. Again, vendors, before they extend you credit, they're going to want to know, are you registered with the 411 directory? They're going to check to see if you're registered with Google. You have these links. And I also have a cheat sheet that I'm going to give you that gives you all of these steps of things that you need to do. Again, the preliminary steps before you apply for business credit. So you will have that. Register on social media accounts, like if you have Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, they want to see that you have a presence again because they feel that it established a level of legitimacy. So you will have an itemized list of all these different things. Then you are ready to establish business credit. You're going to buy items in your business name. The vendors will set up what is called net 15, net 30, 60, or 90 days. All that means is that if they extend you a line of credit, let's just say for $500, and if you charge $500 and it has a net 30 uh, line of credit that's extended to you, that $1,000 has to be paid within 30 days. So that's the difference, okay? On the personal side, remember, if you have a credit card that has a $500 limit, if you charge the $500 up, they will require that you only pay a minimum balance. And then the remaining balance will be transferred over to the next month. It's not the same as on the business side. Also, monitor your accounts. And again, I am going to provide to you an actual vendor tracking sheet as well. So when you are applying for different types of lines of credit or different vendors, you can put in their name, the date that you actually applied for that particular line of credit, and any type of information. I already have all of those things for you along with your checklist, so you will not have to worry about it. You'll have those things at your fingertips. So again, remember I told you that I am actually going to provide to you two different webinars. The first one will be the preliminary steps. That's what this one is for. The second one is that we're going to get into the meat where I'm going to show you exactly how to go about applying to different types of vendors, establishing business credit, and which ones that you can actually start applying to. So sit tight and then check out the second webinar. Again, I am Coach Starnes. Thank you so much for showing up. And if you put in the work, I guarantee that you will actually reap benefits and reap a harvest. Stay tuned, and I'll see you shortly on the second webinar. Your financial coach, and I am super excited to be before you today. Here's my contact information. Feel free to reach out to me, email or telephone if you have some questions. And I hope this webinar, this series was beneficial to you to show you how to establish business credit. Again, thank you, and you will receive the checklist, business credit checklist, and the vendor log to track all of your vendors. Thank you.